Hi, I'm Pierre. I'm the market lead for Thomson Reuters tax and accounting business for Asia and emerging market. And just as a quick kind of brief on where we are in VAT today in the Gulf region. So obviously we've been having VAT now in the region for about 18 months in Saudi and the UAE. So this was very successful implementation where we've both seen Gazette and the FTA coming out saying that the rate of compliance of taxpayers is extremely high, which obviously proved that that rollout has been an absolute success from their point of view. Obviously Bahrain, just starting from this year, is now on VAT as well, and they kind of staged their implementation with first large taxpayers and then the smaller ones in phases, with the latest phase was about a month ago. And what we are also seeing in the market is, I would say, different stages of different markets. So what you would have today is in the UAE and Saudi, obviously most taxpayers start to be quite used to VAT and the way it works. We still see a few errors there and there, how people have set up their process and their system going forward. Bahrain obviously is a bit more newer in that sense, so people are still trying to work out how actually VAT is impacting them and how more efficient they can be moving forward. For the rest of the region, we are also expecting all GCC countries to be on VAT by 2021 or 2022, with obviously the next one coming up should be Oman towards the end of this year or beginning of next year. The other thing that we are seeing is kind of a trend which is coming from Europe at the moment, which is around real-time reporting and e-invoicing, where you kind of see governments trying to get closer and closer to company data, right? So as opposed of me as a government asking you for raw transactional data let's say every year or on an ad hoc basis when I want to audit you, I'm starting to want that data every month, every day, and sometimes in a real-time manner. And that's what we are seeing in countries today like Italy in Europe, where they've introduced a very stringent e-invoicing regime where the government has to actually approve every invoice before it goes out. So, and the Gulf countries are moving on that trend as well, where both the tax authorities are trying to get smarter and are also trying to move towards that, we say, e-world, where most of the transaction will be done in an electronic manner, where the government wants to have a view on everything that you do as a taxpayer. So it's moving fast. Regulations are changing as always. We've seen Saudi, they have re-engineered their VAT regulation to an extent, which is a very good sign, right? So they're actually trying to get better and make it easier for taxpayers there to be VAT compliant. In the UAE, what we've seen as well is the FTA have taken an approach of trying to give certain relief in certain industries where it makes sense. So one of the common examples here would be all the exhibitions and events where they've allowed business to recover the VAT on that, which wasn't the case before. And these kind of updates are going to keep on moving, right? So as a company in one of these countries today, you need to keep your ear on the ground because there are more and more developments happening. And you also need to always have in mind the future proof or the scalability of what you do, right? It's not about trying to be compliant today, but it's about having a setup in place that allows you to be compliant in the future, whatever the tax authorities will throw at you in terms of requirement. So that's it from me. I thought this was a useful, quick update of where we are today. And I shall see you next time. Thank you.